It is again another weekend. Thank you for having tuned into my channel Aviation Info on this edition of Weekly Dose of African Aviation, where as usual I always bring to you the latest updates and happenings in the aviation sector in Africa. In this week's edition, we shall bring you information with regards to new airlines in the African aviation sector, new agreements being signed and equally new routes being opened on the African continent. After our research, we shall bring you information from South African Airways, Airlink, Etihad Airways, Air Peace. We shall bring you information from Sky Airlines. We shall bring you info from Air Canada, Air Tanzania, and we shall bring you information from Rano Air. Meanwhile, before I proceed, are you still new to this channel? Please consider subscribing so you never miss any of my future uploads. Meanwhile, if you've missed our previous editions on Weekly Dose of African Aviation, you can always check on the playlist so you could be updated with what has been happening in the aviation sector in Africa. And right away, let's dive to see what's been happening this week in the African aviation sector. We will start with South African Airways. South Africa state concludes sales of 51% of South African Airways to Takatso. In June 2021, the South African state announced it has chosen Takatso consortium as a preferred partner for the relaunch of South African Airways. But in the meantime, negotiations between the two parties took several months and the South African government had to finance the national airlines. This being put in place, the state now owns 49% of South African Airways and Takatso consortium owns 51% of stake. With this being put in place, we hope this partnership will bring a change in the national carrier of South Africa. And still in South Africa, Airlines makes Durban Harare service its fourth route into Zimbabwe market. South Africa's first airline is currently serving Zimbabwe via 3 routes from 2 South African airports in order to meet up the growing demand between the two neighboring countries. The company is offering a new route starting from the coastal city of Durban. And from South Africa, let's now move to Nigeria and talk about Air Peace. Air Peace is a private Nigerian airline founded in 2013 with its head office in Ikeja, Lagos State, Nigeria. The airline announces that they will resume flights to Dubai on the 1st of March with 3 flights per week on Tuesdays, on Fridays, and on Sundays. With the coming of the new route, it will be a springboard to connect more passengers to more destinations. And still in Nigeria, we have a young airline starting up called Rano Air. Rano Air is in the phase of planning flight operations in 2022. To ensure that this phase works out as planned, the young startup airline is putting everything in place, including the purchase of 4 Embraer 145. With the coming of the new airline Rano Air, it will increase competition in the Nigerian aviation sector with other airlines. Air Tanzania Limited signs a trade agreement with KLM and Emirates. Air Tanzania Corporation will receive 6 new aircrafts this year. This densification of the Tanzanian national airline fleet is part of the future expansion of its network. Signing an agreement with 2 giant airlines, Emirates and KLM, will be a perfect startup and to ensure a future for the airline. With the gradual resumption of the aviation sector from the effect of the COVID-19, Air Canada returns to Africa this summer with 3 routes including regular services. Airlines are still in favor of easing travel restrictions on the international market. Air Canada, which had suspended all its African destinations since the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020, returns with a booster offer for the upcoming summer season. And still en route, Etihad Airways will return to Zanzibar during the next summer. During the summer, airlines are multiplying seasonal lines to capitalize on raising demands towards tourist destinations, a practice and opportunity that the Etihad Airways will always want not to miss. And in Kenya, Austria Aviation Limited received its first Boeing 757 freighter. And these have just been the few updates we brought to you this week on Weekly Dose of African Aviation. Kindly like this video, and if you're still new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my amazing uploads.